Shalom. First off, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, Bahashem, YAHAWAH. Double honor to the apostles of Great Millstone who are on the truth of the gospel of YAHAWASHI from. And peace, love, salutations, and blessings to the house of David, which is the elect, the men, women, and children that are predestined to receive salvation and to be the first fruits of the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom of Israel. So, I was just doing some reading and just wanted to do a lesson, exhorting, the brothers and sisters, all right, the believers in Hamashiach Yahawashi, Yahawah Bahashim Yahawashi, on the times that, we're coming into, okay, as the lesson title is, and the times that we're, coming into, remember this, all right, or something to that effect. And because we know that a lot of things that this devil got planned, is really going to affect the believers and the ones who fear the Lord. All right, as the scriptures, has forewarned us, in the book of 2nd Esdras, the 16th chapter, that they should be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Well, it's not just for us to have the mindset of well, we're just going to, die or be in a messed up case or a messed up situation. The Lord is also going to give us the spirit to endure these things. Okay, even though we may have to, face these things, even though we may have to be in walk in the straight gate, as Yahawashi said, that straight gate is that the gate that leads into life. Okay, a lot of people that you're seeing around you is being coerced and being pressured into taking the wide gate, because they think that gate, because it's wide, it's easier. They think that gate is the better road to take because it's less pressure, it's less difficulties. But as Yahawashi said, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth many into destruction. Okay, so we're in the times of the straight gate, and as we continue to walk, as time continues to go day by day, this gate is only going to get narrower and narrower. All right, as it is written in the book of 2nd Esdras, the 7th chapter, that path that we're walking on is only going to be is so small that only one person can walk therein at a time. All right, you're not going to be able to hold hands with another person, another brother in the truth, to make it easier for you, because we all have to walk this, enduring to the end of our own path, or our own walk, I should say, in this thing. Although we have the brotherhood, things are going to happen to you personally that is not going to happen to other brothers, and vice versa. Okay, and that's why here in the book of 1 Peter, the 5th chapter, starting at verse 8, it says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour." Okay, and the first first part of that is what? Be sober, be vigilant. And that being sober, which means being serious minded, okay, being vigilant meaning being circumspect, being aware, that gives you the spiritual boost, all right, so that you're able to be stable in the times that we're in. Okay, having your mind focused and being aware of what's happening around you, basically it gives you that mental capacity to know, all right, what's coming down the pipeline, aka being a watchman. We always speak about watching, for the things, and being a watchman, being on our watchtower. Well, you being on that watchtower allows you to mentally prepare for the flood that is coming, or mentally prepare, and spiritually, above all things, prepare for the difficulties and the tribulation that is coming your way. You able to see these things. All right, a lot of people in this world, they don't see the tribulation that's coming. They don't have the true understanding, and they haven't really wrapped their minds around what is about to hit, this place and have affect them. Okay, so us being in the truth is our duty, which really also is a blessing that the Most High YAHAWASHI has given us this eyes to see and ears to hear, for us to be forewarned of the things that is coming. Because being blindsided is way worse than what they call it, that rude awakening. If you wake up on your own, right, and you sleeping, let's say you wake up on your own, it's more of a peaceful awakening than for somebody to just start yelling and screaming and shaking you or throwing some cold water on you. You get all rattled. Okay, you discombobulated. Your adrenaline is high, your anxiety is high, because you just been awakened rudely. That's why that's rude awakening. Well, that's coming to the majority of this world. We are already of the children of the day. We're already awake. We're already watching. So when we see these things coming, although it is coming, although the trials are coming, the persecution are coming, we are looking, we're watching it come. We're seeing what's about to hit us. All right. And praying and hoping that the Most Yahawah YAHAWASHI gives us the spirit to endure these things, and Yahawashi is with us, to protect us and to guide us, from these things. Okay, but reading on verse 9, it says, "Whom resist steadfast in the faith." Okay, remember, he says, "Because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour." Verse 9 says, "Whom resist." So Peter is exhorting the church to resist the devil and his roaring, lying ways, all right, in his devouring ways. Okay, and what we're witnessing right now with these whole, Vanessa mandates and these ostracizations and being excluded and being called the ultimate knucklehead. That's what the governor of Jersey said about the people who are anti-Vanessa. You are the ultimate knuckleheads. Okay, having this rhetoric around people who are not bowing the knee, who are not taking that wide gate. We have to resist all those devouring actions and devouring words that this devil, all right, the wicked of our people. Okay, I'm sure brothers and sisters seen what Slim Thug was basically saying about the ones of the ones who are anti-Vanessa, basically calling them the problem. All right, that's where everything is leading up into, that the ones who do not want to get down with the program of Esau Edom, they're the problem. Okay, but the Lord, Peter said what? Whom resists steadfast in the faith. So you got to be steadfast in the faith. It says, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. So, brothers, as everything's been going on, I've been getting a lot of comments with a lot of people giving their different stories. I've been seeing things on, social media, about the brothers and sisters going through their different, persecutions, whether they're in the health, care, nurses or doctors or whatever, or whether they're in, whatever job or industry that they're in. People are giving different testimonies about how the squeeze is coming upon them. All right, that crunch time is coming upon their own personal life. But understand that, as it says right here, knowing the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. So don't think that the trials, actually, let me get that in 1 Peter, the 4th chapter, 1 Peter 4 verse 12. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. Okay, so don't think that this is just happening unto you. All right, remember, we're all walking down this straight gate, trying to make it to salvation. Okay, in that straight gate, which when you go into that word straight, straight, is what? A point or position of difficulty. Okay, so don't think the difficulties that are going on in your life is strange, as if it's only something that is happening unto you. No, we just read that the same afflictions are accomplished and your brethren that are in the world. So your brethren, all right, the people that you're listening to, all right, the elders, the elder brothers, your fellow brother and your fellow servant, your fellow believer, all right, your fellow sister, Akwath, your fellow Ak. We're all going to go through the same, afflictions, not specifically the same type, but we're all going to have that walk through that straight gate. So don't think it's strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, and understand also that the trial that you're being tried, the trial that you're going through, right, is ultimately for your salvation. Is for your benefit. In the book of Romans, the 8th chapter, it says what? All things work together for the good of them that love the Lord. So even a trial that you're going through, the straight gate that you're walking through, the afflictions that you're suffering, all those things are for your benefit. It's for your good. You see? So verse 13, it says it, but rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of Hamashiach's sufferings. See, that's why it's ultimately, very, well, we say it all the time. It's important to read the book of life, all right, the scriptures, okay? That's why the scriptures is called what? The book of remembrance. Because when you read about certain events, which is what inspired me to do this lesson, which I'm gonna get to the specific story that I was reading, it gives you a boost in your spirit to know that this is what we're what we're in this for. Okay, this is what the Lord has given us, this spirit, just like how He has given the honorable men of old the spirit to endure the afflictions, and now we see them and we reverence, we read about them, I should say, and we reverence them for their courageousness, for their ability to endure. All right, and knowing that ultimately they have their names written in heaven. Now, Lord willing, we are those same men, coming back. Okay, we would be partakers of those people, of those individuals that are written about and are reverenced because of their courageousness and because of their ability to endure. But as it says here, but rejoice in as much as you are partakers of Hamashiach's sufferings. So YAHAWASHI went through it, right? And as YAHAWASHI said, that the servant is not greater than the master. All right, the servant is not greater than the master. If they hate the master, they're going to hate the servant. So the master went through the sufferings. Understand that the servant is going to have to go through sufferings as well. You got men, saying that there will be no Jacob's trouble. Hey, be not deceived, man. Okay, because the scriptures tells you that they say, woe unto them that say peace, peace unto my people, and there is no peace. Actually, let me see if I can find that real quick. So bear with me. Of course, the internet wants to mess up. Here we go. Jeremiah 6 verse 14. It says, they have healed also the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly, saying peace, peace, when there is no peace. All right. That is what these people, these false teachers, these false believers, okay, are saying, that, well, peace, there's not going to be no Jacob. We're not going to have to go through no straight gate. There's not going to be no persecution upon the believers. No, there is going to be a persecution, upon the ones who fear the Lord, man. Now, whether or not the Lord is going to have you, sidestep it, all right, the Lord's going to protect you from it, all right. The Lord might, have an angel come when something happens where you don't end up having to get thrown into a concentration camp, or you might not have to get thrown, might not have to get tortured. Hey, that's your story. But ultimately, we know that there is going to be trouble for Israel, specifically here in the land of Babylon the Great, and in the four corners of the earth. Okay, YAHAWASHI already told us about these things. So going back now to First Peter, it says that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. And that's ultimately what should drive you. All right, that ultimately is what should give you the mindset of no matter what happens, you're going to suffer it. You're going to endure it because you want to be found worthy at the return of YAHAWASHI. You want to be found worthy for him to say, well done, my good and faithful servant. Okay, so in the times that we're coming into, remember these things. Remember that the sufferings is a part, may be a part, because like I said, the Lord might not have every single person go through torments, go through sufferings, have to be homeless. Once again, the Lord has everybody in their own have to walk their own straight gate. Although as it says that we're all going to have don't think it's a strange thing that happened unto you, because other individuals, other believers in YAHAWASHI are going to have their own straight gate, whether it be their family abandoning them, whether it be them losing their job, which we're seeing a lot of like I said, a lot of comments, a lot of people are saying this, that their job is about to start mandating the Vanessa, and since they're not getting it, they're probably going to end up having to lose their job, what so have you. But all in all, man, we all are going through this the same straight gate to reach that glory when YAHAWASHI returns. Okay, so now this is the story, like I said, I was reading. It's coming from 2 Maccabees chapter 6. I'm going to start at verse 18. It says, Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man and of a well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh. But he, choosing rather to die gloriously. Now, I was talking to a brother, not a brother, a friend that I have in the world, and he was basically saying that how, I was basically saying that I'd rather, be a pilgrim, rather be homeless than to take the jab. All right. And he was like, I don't believe that. And what separates obviously me from him, because he's looking at it on the spirit, on a carnal level. He's looking at it like, yo, we've had Vanessas before, if they're telling you that you're going to not have to take the Vanessa, you're going to lose your job if you don't take the Vanessa, you're going to take the Vanessa. And in my mind, I'm thinking that's not even a question. Okay. Through the spirit, that's not even a question of me thinking like, yo, I might no, there's no question. Now, here, Eleazar, he said he'd rather die than to eat pork. How much more for us now? Because that was one of the king's commandment. Antiochus Epiphanes, his commandment was at a certain feast, you had to eat swine's flesh, knowing that was unlawful. All right, it was unlawful for Israelites to eat swine's flesh. You had some Israelites that consented. All right, and before we came into the truth, we did eat pork. All right, being ignorant of understanding of our heritage, we did eat pork. But you had men back then that would rather die than to eat pork. How much more now are we supposed to be in the spirit of rather choosing death than to have being, once again, it would be breaking the laws, getting that juice, okay, because you're not supposed to be putting any cuttings in your flesh. So that's the mindset that we got to be in, and that's how that our people, the majority of our people, are so far gone that they think that taking a Vanessa is not even, it's a light thing. Just like during the time of the Maccabees, you had people of our nation that thought it was a light thing to eat pork because they rather live, all right, and choose the religion of that wicked king than to choose the ordinances and the statutes of their forefathers. So it says, but he, choosing rather to die gloriously than to live stained with such an abomination, spit it forth, and came out of his own accord to the torment. So they basically grabbed his mouth and kept his mouth open, and like try to force swine's flesh into his mouth. But instead, he spit it out of his mouth and said, "What? I'd rather die than to and be tormented than to eat swine's flesh." And that's what you gotta have in your mind, man. All right, not knowing whether or not that will be a lot, but that's how your mind is supposed to be. That no matter what, whether I die, whether they try to torture my kill my son in order for me to threaten to kill my son in order for me to take that juice, and ultimately it's going to end up with that Marcus as well. Okay, but your mind is, you gotta rather die than to be stained, than to live with the stain of such an abomination. Okay, it says, reading on, as it behooved them to come that are resolute to stand out against such things as are not lawful for the love of life to be tasted. But they that had the charge of that wicked feast, for the old acquaintance they had with the man, taking him aside, besought him to bring flesh of his own provision, such as was lawful for him to use, and make it as if he did eat the flesh taken from the sacrifice commanded by the king. So what these devils tried to do was to tell Eleazar, look, we're gonna bring you to the side. Look, you could bring your own meat that is lawful for you to eat. So you could bring your lamb, bring your chicken, bring your beef, but just act as if you're eating the swine's flesh in front of everybody, so that they won't, so that they will think that you are in agreement of the commandment of the king. Okay, so we're not going to ask you to yourself eat the abominable food, but just make it seem as if you're eating the abominable food. But let's read on what he says. Verse 22, that in doing so, that he might be delivered from death, and for the old friendship with them find favor. So we won't kill you. So just do this and we won't kill you. See, this is how this devil work, man. They like to be subtle, be that sneaky devil, sneaky serpent, just to continue to try to forward forward their agenda. They will try to make it seem, we won't kill you, or we won't do X, Y, and Z, if you just make it seem as if you're with our program. Right? Verse 23 says, but he began to consider discreetly, and as became his age, and the excellency of his ancient years, and the honor of his gray hair, whereon was come, and his most honest education from a child, or rather the holy law made and given by power. Therefore he answered accordingly, and willed them straightways to send him to the grave. For it becometh not our age, said he, in any wise to dissemble, whereby many young persons might think that Eleazar, being 80, so he was 90 years old, were now gone to a strange nation, because that's what they wanted him to do. Because back in the day, our old ancient men, the righteous, their age was also honorable, because with age comes wisdom. So what they wanted Eleazar to do was to basically set forth a wicked precedent to the younger people, to the younger generation, to say, well, if Eleazar did it being 90 years old, then we should do it also. We should also go to the strange, go forth to the strange religion of this wicked king, which is Antiochus Epiphanes, which was an Edomite. All right, which we through the spirit, Biden could very well be that same man coming back in a reincarnation. All right, because he's been coming out with speakable, peaceable words, enticing specifically Jake to this strange religion of Vanessa. All right, and ultimately, which we continuously say, to that. It's setting the precedent, setting the forerunner to the Marcus. Okay? But Eleazar said, no, I'm not going to even do that. So it says, verse 25, and so they through mine hypocrisy, meaning what? The younger generation, the younger persons, so that they through my hypocrisy and desire to live a little time and a moment longer should be deceived by me, and I get a stain to my old age and make it abominable. For though the present time I shall be delivered from the punishment of men, yet should I not escape the hand of the Almighty, neither alive nor dead. Wherefore now manfully changing this life, I will shew myself such as one as mine age requireth, and leave a notable example to such as be young to die willingly and courageously for the honorable and holy laws. Okay? And that's what we have to keep in mind. That's what we have to remember. All right? That if it comes to the point of death, die willingly and courageously for the honorable and holy laws in the faith of YAHAWASHI, man. That's it. That's what we, and that's why these things written aforetime was written for our learning, so that we can read these things. Because I say you this, when I read this, I legit felt like I was hearing him say this, like I was there watching him say this, and it boosted me up in the spirit, because it's like if this man knew that he was about to die, being 90 years old, you got 90-year-old, 80 years old people now still trying to save their life. You know, me and a brother, you know, in my camp was talking about how you got our grandparents and you know, elderly people that are willingly taking the Vanessa because they saying, I don't want to die. Even though they done lived a full life, right? They're already at the, they already, as Eleazar said, what? That I should be present, you know, for though a present time. So like, where you say it, oh yeah, to desire to live a little time and a moment longer, right? You're already at the end of your, you know, the end of your time period. You don't live the majority of your life already, but yet you're willing to bow the knee to the to Baal to live a little moment longer, because you want to have elderly people, you know, take that Marcus because they don't want to die. But see, those people that are like that in this time, this day and age, those are the wicked. You got to have the mindset of Eleazar, being willing to die and die willingly and courageously, man. Right? So it says, and when he said these words, immediately he went to the torment. So they tormented this 90-year-old righteous man, because he didn't want to. Not only did he want to eat the swine's flesh, he didn't even want to fake like he was eating it to deceive the nation, the younger of our nation. It says that they let him, changing the goodwill they bear him with a little before into hatred, because the foresaid speeches proceeded as they thought from a desperate mind. But when he was ready to die with stripes, he groaned and said, it is manifest unto the Lord that have the holy knowledge, that whereas I might have been delivered from death, I now endure sore pains in my body by being beaten, but in soul am well content to suffer these things because I fear him. Okay, let's read that again. It says, but when he was ready to die with stripes, he groaned and said, it is manifest unto the Lord that has the holy knowledge, that whereas I might have been delivered from death. What did Yahawashi say? Okay, those that seek to save their life shall lose it, and those that lose their life for my sake shall save it. So he could have tried to save his life by eating the swine's flesh, by, you know, faking that he was eating the swine's flesh. But no, he said, I now endure sore pains in my body being beaten. But what? But in my soul, my spirit, am well content, meaning he is happy. He rejoiced. He went out like a courageous holy, righteous man, and well content to suffer these things. So he was content in his mind and his spirit to suffer these things. Because why? Because he feared Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. All right. It says, and thus this man died, leaving his death for an example of a noble courage, and a memorial of virtue, not only unto young men, but unto all his nation. So the way he went out was a memorial until this day, because me reading this, right, a part of the nation, and me reading this into the people, until the ones that are listening, is what? It's honoring Eleazar, honoring the way he went out, and it's giving us a exhortation for us to go out that way as well, if we be in that situation. Okay, knowing that ultimately, as it says here in the book of 1 Corinthians 10 verse 13, there has no temptation, meaning no trial, no test, taken you but such as is common to man. Going back to what? No strange fiery trial. It says, but the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. Okay, so him being 90 years old, the way he went out, the way he was tormented, he was able to suffer that, which is why he said in his spirit he was content, in his soul he was content. So the Most High is faithful, even if we may have to go out in torment, even though if we may have to be beheaded. Okay, but even in those trials, even in those sufferings, it's not going to be more than what we are able to bear. It says, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. And the Lord can make you escape it in many different ways. All right, he can actually have you not even feel it as much as you would think you was going to feel it. And I have had a dream like that, where I was being tormented and I wasn't feeling it as much as I thought, as you would feel the pain of, having your toes chopped off. So you got to keep that in mind, that the Most High is faithful. If you're faithful, that's why the scripture says, strive for the truth until death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. If you're faithful, if you're faithful unto the Lord will be faithful unto you. Scripture says, draw nigh unto him, and he shall draw nigh unto you. All right. This is another example. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 3, verse I'm starting at verse 13. It says, then Nebuchadnezzar in his rage and fury commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I set up? All right, and that's the same thing that Babylon the Great, Esau, Edom is setting up right now. This image of the beast, which is his philosophies, okay, his ideologies, his strange religion that he wants all the world to worship. All right, and you can see how he's moving, how he's mandating by way of conquest, by way of the squeeze for the world to do it, specifically Israelites, because right now Israel, according to his data, are the ones that's not bowing the knee right now. But as time progresses, and as the straight as that gate gets narrower and narrower, you're going to have a lot of more people of our nation that is not walking with Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi are going to fold. They're going to bow the knee. So it says, verse 15, now if ye be ready at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, the sackbut, the psaltery, the dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image I have made. Hey, and these you say the different sounds that he mentioned. Right now the different sounds are what? The sound of, you won't be able to go to a restaurant, you won't be able to go to travel, you won't be able to go to a sporting event, a concert, your job, These are the different sounds that they are, you know, pushing out, so that you are willing to fall down and worship the image. It says, which I have made. So it says, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? And see, that's the mindset of Esau Edom. All right. He thinks that there's nobody that can deliver the elect out of the hands of Esau, out of his persecution, out of his suffering. Same thing Pharaoh said. Who is this God? When Moses told him let the people go, he said, who is this God that I should listen to him, that I should fear him? The same thing Nebuchadnezzar said. The same thing Esau Edom is saying. All right, that's why the scripture calls this place spiritual Sodom in Egypt, the daughter of Babylon. All right, Babylon the Great. Because Esau has the mindset of all these other heathen empires, and it's all wrapped up into one. Okay. Verse 16, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our power whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thy hand, O king. And that's what you got to understand, and that's what you got to believe. Do you believe that he is? The scripture says it's impossible. Without faith, it's impossible to please the Most High. That he is a rewarder of them that believe that he is. Are you undoubtedly, unwavering, confident in the Lord's ability to deliver you out of the hand of the king, out of the hand of Esau Edom? All right, just like how Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego was. It says, verse 18, but if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. So even if the Lord does not, if it's not written for the Lord to deliver you out of the hand of the persecution, as Job said, what? Let's get that. The book of Job, chapter 13, verse 15. Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him, but I will maintain my own ways before him. Okay? So even if it's the will of the Most High for you to be slain, still do not bow the knee. Still do not worship the image. Still do not receive his Marcus or his Vanessa for that matter. Okay? No matter what, remember this, that there are in our history stories, events that occurred where men, and you have the mother of the 7 children, so women that chose to die rather than to partake in the abominations of the heathen. Okay? So going back now to 2 Maccabees, the 7th chapter, this is the next chapter after Eleazar died, which this is a very, known chapter. It says, and it came to pass that 7 brethren with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips. Now remember, they were willing to die rather than to eat pork. You got our people now willingly, they choose to eat pork. All right? That's their preferred meat above all other meats. But us knowing the commandments of Yahawah Bashim Yahawashi, the statutes and the judgments, it's our duty, our reasonable service to choose death rather than to choose the abominations that this devil is presenting us with. Whether it be, as it were, during the time of the Greeks that eat pork or swine's flesh. But now during the time of Esau, which he is the Greeks, the same people coming back, all right, just changing their names, is to do what? To take Vanessa. So as it says, but one of them, verse 2, but one of them that spake first and said thus, what wouldest thou ask or learn of us? All right. What wouldest thou ask or learn of us? What do you want to know? What do you want to know about us? What do you think? Like, what do you want? What do you think, man? This is how you gotta have it in your mind. What? That we are ready to die. And that's what I told, the dude I was talking to. He didn't believe me, but that's okay, because what if some did not believe? It's not for him to believe. I didn't even care that he didn't believe me. I didn't even try to convince him. All right? And that's basically what it is. What it is to learn of us. What do we have to convince you for? We are ready to die rather than to transgress the laws of our fathers. All right? So you got to be willing to die, ready to die, rather than to transgress the laws, man. And taking that Vanessa is transgressing of the law. Now, even though we transgress, we sin, unwillfully, we have the blood of the Lamb to cover us for forgiveness of sins. But if you are at the position to where you're being pressured and you're trying to, because of the lust of this world, the cares of this life, you are willingly, because to take that Vanessa, that's a presumptuous, in that Marcus, ultimately, that's a presumptuous provision of forethought for the flesh. Okay? Because what are people taking a Vanessa for right now? Because they don't want to lose their job, because they don't want to be ostracized from society. They want to go out to restaurants. They want to go to the gyms. They X, Y, and Z, whatever. So that's a presumptuous and a willful sin that you're doing. And that's dishonorable. That's not courageous. That's weak. And the Lord is not dealing with no weak, dishonorable, fearful individuals. Because, hey, it tells you that in the book of Revelation, the 21st chapter. It says, Revelation 21, verse 7. He that overcometh shall inherit all things. All right. You got to overcome what? Overcome this world. Overcome the temptation. Overcome the trials. The fire. All right. The straight gate. It says, he that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his power, and he shall be my son. But, right? But it says, but the fearful. The fearful. And what is Esau presenting right now? He's presenting situations that are putting people in fear. The fear of losing my house. The fear of because I don't have a job, because I don't want to take the Vanessa. So I won't have no place to live. I won't have no way to eat. I got to take care of my children. All right. So Esau is presenting scenarios that is presenting, giving people anxiety, giving people fear. So it says, but the fearful and the unbelieving. So you don't believe in the power of YAHAWASHI. You don't believe that the Lord can deliver you and will deliver you out of your situation. That he won't suffer you to be tempted above that you are able to bear. You don't believe that he is. Okay? And because you don't believe, you're fearful. So it says, but the fearful and the unbelieving and the abominable. So because you don't believe, you're fearful, and you're willing to be abominable. You're willing to do something that is abominable, something that is unlawful. So that's why those three things are right there. The fearful, unbelieving, and the abominable. Okay, because eating that swine's flesh, according to what happened to Eleazar and the 7 sons, that would have been abominable. You taking that Vanessa is abominable. You taking that Marcus, that idol, is abominable. It says, and the murderers, and the whoremongers, and the sorcerers, and the idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone. This is the second death. You see, and that's why Eleazar said what? That I could be delivered from death, in the present time, where he said. It says, whereas I might be delivered from death, I now endure sore pains in my body being beaten. But in my soul am well content to suffer these things because I fear him. Fear who? Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. All right. And that second death, man, that second death ain't no joke. Okay. You trying to preserve your life right now. Still going to, you try to preserve your life right now. being taking hold of Esau's side, you're gonna have to now face the one who killed both body and soul, man. You see? So you rather fear Esau, but we rather fear the Most High. That's why the Lord YAHAWASHI said it. Fear not him that can kill the body. So reading on, now I'm not going to read the whole thing of 2nd Ezra 7th chapter, but I'm just going to jump to a point. Right here. 2nd Ezra chapter 7 verse, let's go, where is it? 24. It says, now Antiochus, thinking himself despised and suspecting it to be a reproachful speech, whilst the youngest was yet alive, because he killed the first 6 brothers, so the youngest was the 7th, did not only exhort him by words, but also assured him with oaths that he would make him both a rich and happy man. Isn't that what that's what they're doing now? You know, having the Vanessa lottery. You know, saying all these things. Or we'll give you $100 if you take the Vanessa. You know, X, Y, and Z. All these promises. That's the MO of Esau, man. It says if he would turn. See, listen what he said. That but assured him with oaths that he would make him both a rich and a happy man if he would turn from the laws of his fathers, and that also he would take him for his friend and trust him with affairs. But when the young man would in no case hearken unto him. So what did he say? I don't care what the fuck you offer me. All right, you can, $1 billion. You can make me the chief head of 15 of your providences. Nothing that you can offer me. But see, a lot of Jake right now, they got no integrity, man. They got no valor. A lot of our people are sellouts, man. They're through. But see, the Lord, blessed be YAHAWASHI, for the remnant, for the ones that he reserved that will not bow the knee to Baal. And that's the spirit, Lord willing, that we have and that we continue to have until the end. That there's nothing that will be presented in front of us that will make us return or turn from the laws of our forefathers, man. And for this gospel's sake, for YAHAWASHI's sake. Well, YAHAWASHI is the word. Okay? YAHAWASHI is the word. And a part of the word is what? The laws. You see? So continuing on, it says, it says, not hearken unto him. The king called his mother and exalted her that she would counsel the young man to save his life. And you see Esau do that all the time. Go try to talk to the mother, you know, try to appeal to the woman, because he knows how to play upon her emotions, to try to convince the woman to convince the man to bow the knee. But see, this woman, because we don't have a lot of these women now, this woman, a lot of our mothers won't do this. This woman did the opposite. She encouraged him to die. Let's read it. She said, and when he had exalted her with many words, she promised him that she would counsel her son. But she, bowing herself toward him, laughing the cruel tyrant to scorn, spake in her country's language on this manner: O my son, have pity upon me that bare thee 9 months in my womb, and gave thee such 3 years, and nourished thee, and brought thee up unto this age, and endured with troubles of education. I beseech thee, my son, look upon heaven and the earth, and all that is therein, and consider that the Most High made them of things that were not, and so was mankind made likewise. Fear not this tormentor, but being worthy of thy brethren, take thy death, that I may receive thee again in mercy with thy brethren. While she yet spake these words, the young man said, Whom wait ye for? I will not obey the king's commandment. but I will obey the commandment of the law that was given unto our fathers by Moses. Okay? So that's the mindset you got to have, man. Remember this. This is how we, if this comes to the point, this is how we go out. We go out courageously. We go out honorably, man. To hell with this devil. To hell with his trying to coerce us, trying to fear us into bowing the knee. We have accounts of our forefathers going out honorably, man, and having a great memorial for doing so. YAHAWASHI said this, St. John 9 verse 10 says, Then said Pilate unto him, Speakest thou not unto me? Knowest that not I have power to crucify thee and power to release thee? Because that's what this devil wants you to think. He wants you to think that he's in control, that I have power over death and have power over life. No. Yahweh, Bashim Yahawashi, has power over life and death, man. The scripture tells you that the issues of death comes from the Lord. They don't come from Esau. Esau is just a sword. All right, he's just a tool. It says, but how Yahawashi answered? Because Esau, Pilate, being prideful, said that to Yahawashi, man. That I have power to crucify you. Basically, I have power to kill you, and I got power to keep you alive. Yahawashi answered, Thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given thee from above. You see? And that's the mindset you gotta have, man. That this devil don't got no power. Yahawashi took the power of death when he defeated death. Where is that? In the book of where is it at? No, it's in the book of Hebrews. Let's pull that up real quick. Hebrews, the 2nd chapter. Hebrews chapter 2, verse. Where we at? Hebrews chapter 2, verse 14. It says, For as much then as the children are partakers of the flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death, Yahawashi, he might destroy him that had the power of death, that is the devil, and deliver them who through the fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. You see, and that's what this devil is trying to do. Okay, right now he's doing it by way of the pride of life and the cares of this life. You know, he's not presenting death yet as the means, you know, as the ultimatum, but Yahawashi already defeated death. You see, we already are separated from this world. So him taking away our restaurants and going to bars and going to sporting events and what so have you, that's not going to affect us. Okay, that's not going to affect us because we already separated from this world. Yeah, we use this world, but we're not abusers of this world. That's only going to affect the people that abuse this world. So now he's going to have to come up, bring it a step further, right? The step further is now I'm going to have to take away the roof over your head. You don't have to be living as a pilgrim. You're going to have to, make your life hard. But then that's not going to affect us because the scripture says what? That be ready to be as pilgrims on the earth. So once again, remember these words. So he's going to have to then take it a step further. Or you want to be a pilgrim, you good being a pilgrim. Well, now I'm going to have to present you with death. I'm going to have to now tell you that you are an enemy of the state. And by executive order, blank, 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 we are charged to execute you. But the Lord said what? That we have defeated death, man, through him. Because this devil right now he believes he has power of death, but the Lord defeated you, man. Yahawashi defeated you, and he is able to deliver us that who through the fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. Why do you think Jake do what they do? Why do you think Jake, during the time of slavery, they Salakia. They let their, they got raped. Okay, their women were bed wenches because of death, because they were afraid of death. They ate swine's flesh because they were afraid of death. But through Yahawah, through Yahawashai, all right, because of Yahawah, through Yahawashai, we are now have victory over death, man. And we love not our lives until the death. So death can't even separate us from doing the will of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahushai. And these examples that we just read are things that you should keep in your mind so that you can be, encouraged. That when the time comes of whatever persecution, whatever affliction that you are going to be faced with, understand that, hey, it happened before. There are accounts of our forefathers, going through it, suffering to death, but they have a crown of life waiting for them, man. Okay? They have a crown of life waiting for them. And that's why Yahawashi said that. And I'll end it here with Revelation 2 verse 10. It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Why? Because when you fear, you succumb to the fear, and you do the things that your adversary, wants you to do, because you fear the outcome of not doing it. But Yahawashi said what? Fear none of those things, which is why it says what? The Most High did not give us the spirit of fear. See, fear is a spirit, man. Fear is a spirit. But Lord did not give us the spirit of fear. Why? Because we got the spirit of Yahawashi supping with us, man, through the Ruach HaKodesh. And perfect love casteth out fear. So we got that in us, so we don't have fear in us. You can't have the spirit of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahushai in you and also fear in you. It's either going to be one or the other. So we don't have that fear of what this devil can do to us, man. Which is why Yahawashi said, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. These other people, Slim Thug, Charles Barkley, all these heads of these people, that these people make their heads, they fear. So that's why they bow the knee. But we don't fear. It says, behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Because that's the only thing that this devil, after death, which ultimately is in the hands of the Lord, whether who lives or dies, right? But after death, this devil can't do nothing. But see, he thinks that because we know that death isn't the end. See, death isn't the end all be all for us. So even if you kill us, that's weird. Hey, what did the brother say? I should have resurrection unto life. Even though you kill me now. I'm gonna go back to that 2nd Ezra 7 verse 14. It says, so when he was ready to die, he said thus, it is good being put to death by men, to look for hope from the Most High, to be raised up again by him. As for thee, thou shalt have no resurrection of life. Meaning what? That we're going to be, if we die for the Lord, we're going to be raised up. Okay? Paul talked about it. At the sound of the trump, the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first, right? To everlasting life, those new bodies. And ultimately, we're going to be able to exact revenge on our adversaries. So when this devil, when Antioch Epiphanes gets resurrected, when Joe Biden, when Bill Gates, Obama, Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, when they are in the kingdom, they're not going to be resurrected unto life. They're going to be resurrected unto death. They're going to be breathing just to be tormented their whole life, man. That's the only reason why they're going to be resurrected. It's going to be not to live, not to have a abundant life, not to enjoy life, but to experience pain and suffering and torment their entire life. You see? So, on that there, man, Lord willing, this was exhorting and edifying unto the elect, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Ruach HaKodesh. Till next time, Shalom.